Hey everyone, are you ready for the nose of noses? Listen, I know a lot of you are having a hard time doing noses. And one of the reasons is that drawing a nose, it doesn't really consist of lines, does it? Well, when you do a profile portrait, yes, but from the front, as we're doing it here from the front view, it's mostly just a lot of shades, except for the nostrils, which I am doing here first. Before I started drawing, I had sort of mapped out with my pencil. I had drawn like vertical lines from the eyes down to figure out the width of the nose and the placement of the nostrils within that width of the nose. Does that make sense? So I sort of have an idea of where it is. I'm not doing the outlines first. I'm actually working on shades right from the beginning. And this is to get the shape right from the beginning, because if you do lines and then you start shading a nose, for me personally, that just makes it harder. I like to build shading from the very beginning, especially with the nose. And a nose is not just the nose, it's also the surroundings of a nose, meaning the shadow it casts on the cheek, the bridge of the nose between the eyes, how it transitions from, the corner of the eyes to the bridge of the nose, and also under the nose, where the shading sort of falls into or down towards the upper lip. Here is where I start with the black colored pencil to enhance the contrasts and to build up more on the shading. So I make sure my black colored pencil is sharpened, because that makes it a lot easier to work with and to be more precise with the lines and the shading. And now I just build up and introduce a little bit more boldness into my shading. So as you can see on the reference photo, it's a very contrasted photo. There's a lot of hard light and dark shadows, which makes it easier to draw because you can very easily see where the shades are, and you can see the shape of his nose really, really clearly. So that's my advice to you if you want to get better at drawing noses. Find reference photos that have a lot of contrast in them, and find noses that actually have a lot of texture. Is that the right word? It's not. I don't know the word I'm looking for in English. I'm sorry. English is not my first language, as you might have guessed. But, well, anyway, I'm building shading, and this video, I haven't edited it as much as I did with the eye video, because I really wanted you to see my process here. Because I know a lot of you are like, well, how do you go from A to B drawing a nose? And I really wanted you to see how I build and build, like this constant building on top of a shade, building and building the shades, intensifying the contrasts. That's really what I want to show you here. So I haven't cut out a lot in this video. It's pretty much, I've only sped up, not to make it too boring, but it's really just building and building and building. And as you can see here, it is possible to erase the black colored pencil, but it can be tricky. And I had to move that shade, that shadow, between the nostrils a little bit to get better balance. So it's always about, it's this constant dance between being so in the details and then taking a step back and, you know, addressing where is the nose in relation to the eyes. For example, here I had to move that little nose freckle because it needed a reposition. And also, which is really interesting, what I love about noses is, which is very, what's that word? Oh my God, I forgot it. It's very clear on this photo, is that the nostrils are very different. I'm not saying he has a crooked nose, but it's like, there's just a difference. And this contrasted photo makes it very obvious. Yes, it's a constant dance of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, retouching, bringing back the light, and then rebuilding again and again and again and again. That's one of my favorite parts about drawing. This constant, because when you're doing this detail work, that's where the personality, that's where the life of the drawing comes in. Very important to remember. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for mouths coming up next. Bye.